Hello everyone, and welcome to another installment of Vely's vlog. There's a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, but I don't really know how to go about doing that, because anytime I start mentioning it, people get antsy and taking it the wrong way and getting offended. Like, not really offended, but I don't think people get it. And I think the big thing about that is English is a funny language, you guys. Like, there are so many words out there that mean the same thing, or everyone has different definitions for a single word, or assigns different values for different variations. And then you have slang to consider and dialects. And I remember the good old days when I used to be able to say the kind, and people would know what I was talking about. The kind being Hawaiian slang that literally covers everything. And it's the key to just being very lazy and laid back in a speech, which I think is what we all need in these highly stressful times. But no, we're not going to be having a lesson in Hawaiian Pidgin today. Today, instead of trying to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but just can't because no one seems to understand, I'm going to talk about something adjacent to that. There's a lot of posts I see out on Twitter and such about vtubers looking to make friends, and I gotta wonder how successful these posts actually are. And see, the real problem with measuring that success is that everyone has different measures of success. Maybe someone just posted it to get 5 views. Maybe someone posted it to get 1,000 views. Maybe they met someone and they become lifelong best friends. Maybe they get invited to a group of friends who stream all day and they form a vtuber group. And then maybe they get a bunch of comments from people saying they'd love to be friends, and it ends up actually going nowhere because no one on either side of this poster or commenter exchange is actually going to take the initiative to strike up a conversation and become friends. Or even if someone does message someone and they strike up a conversation, it just ends up being small talk but doesn't really go anywhere, and then fizzles and dies before it becomes anything that one can remotely call a friendship. Now, obviously, everyone is different, and everyone has varying degrees of what they call success, and what they consider to be a friendship and whatnot. So I don't think I can really comment on this in a general sense. But this is, of course, a vlog, so I can comment on how I feel about it. I'm always down to looking for more shenanigans. But the big problem with me that I have with this whole thing is that everyone I meet already has their own group of friends. And there's nothing wrong with having multiple friends or being part of multiple friend groups. But I don't have a core group of friends. Not anymore. And while I don't mind talking about that, it's a long story and something I don't want to get into for purposes of this particular vlog. Maybe next time. What I do want to get into is always feeling like an outsider. The big problem with meeting new people is that they already have their established social circles. They already have their niche that they fit into, friends and family they talk to on the regular, people they game with, people they hang out with on the weekends outside of work, whatever. So how can I expect them to upset their natural order just to start hanging out with me? At the end of the day, the people I talk to are going to be pleasant and nice and make small talk for a bit over time. And yeah, we may converse again in future. But by that same measure, once that conversation is over, that's it. They're going to go back to their regularly scheduled program, and I'm going to go back to being my lonely, introverted, stay-up-all-night gaming self. They're not going to invite me to their dating group. And even if they did, would I fit in? I just made friends with the one person, but now I have to get to know 4 of your buddies? What if one of them doesn't like me? You're going to pick them over me, right? It's not like I can ask you to game with just me and me alone. That'd be weird, 'cause you have 4 buddies waiting in the wings. Etc., etc. And that's just kind of where I am at the moment. Friendless, and yet not friendless. I don't know. It's hard to talk about. On one hand, I don't have time for friends, and on the other, Well, let's just say it'd be nice to have friends. And if you're all up and getting in arms about, but Vely, we're friends, aren't we? Well, maybe you should have listened to the entire vlog. Or talk to me more. I don't know. What I do know is I, along with my new community manager, have been spearheading a new initiative to create a welcoming community where people can get together, chat, play games, whatever. And while it's still a fledgling baby in regards to what it is, I'm hoping that we can grow it into something beautiful and joyous. If not for me, then for all of you. Anyway, I'm still farming every chance I get in Final Fantasy XIV until I can clear Forge Tower, so I guess I'll cut it here. As always, if you liked what you heard, consider giving me a like and a subscribe. If you want to see or hear more Vely, check out my socials, like Twitch. I stream on Twitch. I stream a lot on Twitch. I mean, not like a lot, but like, a fair amount. They're listed in the links below. And if you would like to find a community of people to vibe with, maybe check out my Discord. Or hit me up with a DM. They're always open. See you next week.